Welcome back to Arsenal News TV, and today we're going to look at the Arsenal player ratings versus Manchester City as the Gunners got on individually in their Premier League fixture against Pep Guardiola's side at the Etihad Stadium. So the first person on the list is burnt Leno, and he pulled off a few stunning saves to keep the score where it was, which was a sign of how bad it could have been. Looked to go long too often, although he could be hardly blamed for this with the lack of options provided by his teammates. And I think for a real certain fact that I think we definitely need to go with Aaron Ramsdale over burnt Leno. There's all these people stating that Aaron Ramsdale relegation, the curse is still going to happen. And it looks really scary as an Arsenal fan. If Arsenal are going to stick with them, we need a change. I think we need a change with the owner, not the manager. And burnt Leno will get a 6 for his performance. Next up, we got Cedric Suarez. The Portuguese international didn't even appear to be Mikel Arteta's third choice right back in pre-season. But now in their toughest game of the season, he starts at the right back position, performed as you would expect, a baffling selection. I don't know why Cedric Suarez has all of a sudden been put into the squad. I think that was a smart decision. Previously why he was not brought in, but now he was brought in. And typical Arsenal, we don't know why we're doing certain things, and we're going to just see how things go at the moment. And he gets a 4 for his performance. Next up, we got Callum Chambers, appalling for the first goal as he misjudged the cross to Ilkay Gundogan. Probably fouled for the second, but didn't make up for the fact that the England international looked terrified each time a cross came into the box from Manchester City. And I think it was probably his worst performance in an Arsenal shirt. It shows how much depth we need, how much problems we have at this football club. And Callum Chambers is the right man. You look at him, he came under the Arsene Wenger era, Unai Emery era, Arteta era. Nothing has changed. 3 for his performance. Next up, we got Rob Holding. Playing in the middle of the Arsenal back three, had the unenviable task of leading a weak-looking Arsenal back line. Some decent blocks, but generally unadventurous on the ball. Best of a bad bunch at the back. But for me, when it comes to Rob Holding, he tries to make himself look like the best right centre-back out of all the players there. He was awful. All of them were awful. None of them really played the back three system. No one knows how to play out from the back. I don't know why he went with Rob Holding and this awful back three. And altogether, he gets a 5 for his performance. Next up, we got Kolasinac. The Bosnian is third choice in his preferred position, but now is suddenly considered good enough to start away to the champions. Another awful selection to include Kolasinac, who must be on his way now. Quite why he was chosen to stay over Saliba of Mavropanos beggars belief. And it's awful. I said it there, I said it here again. When Saliba and Mavropanos left, I was like, what do we have at our centre-back disposal to get rid of those players? They were good players. They're better than Kolasinac. He gets a 3 for his performance. Next up, we got Kieran Tierney. Looks confused as to whether he was supposed to stay or go in the left wing back role, and wasn't the only one. One decent delivery in the opening minutes, but couldn't hardly get forward after that. And Arteta did have a system. He did have a way to play at the start, but after it was the whole game plan was to score first. We conceded, and all of a sudden Arsenal went with a back 5-4 and a 1 up front with Aubameyang. Kieran Tierney is just an unlucky man to be in his unlucky squad at the wrong time. If he was here a long time ago, he would have been succeeding well, and he gets a 5 for his performance. Next up, we got Granit Xhaka. The Swiss international is supposed to be the leader in this inexperienced Arsenal side, but how can he be when you are almost assured he will lose his head when the going gets tough? Kick the ball away petulantly before admittedly harsh red card that made life even tougher for the Gunners. And this is the problem with Granit Xhaka. He just comes in, nicely gets himself injured, nicely gets himself get that red card, so he doesn't have to suffer. He doesn't suffer and he quickly shies away, and for his performance he gets the 2. Next up, we got Martin Odegaard. He started well, but could hardly get on the ball after Manchester City got in front. Felt sorry for him screening the Arsenal back 4 on his own after Granit Xhaka's red card, and was mercifully taken off towards the end. And I feel sorry for Martin Odegaard to make that decision to come to Arsenal. He shouldn't have just stayed at Real Madrid. He will probably be winning titles. When he comes to Arsenal, he's going to be suffering relegation. Yeah, I'm really scared we might be relegated this season. It was called from the start. I'm really scared. I don't know. We will see. But for his performance, he deserves a 6. Next up, we got Bukayo Saka. He had Arsenal's best and only chance of the game early on and was knocked over the bar. Another, he was ultimately saved from the dumpster fire of a second period by being subbed off at half-time. And he was only one of the few players that actually tried to make a difference. Him, Saka, Smith Rowe, Martin Odegaard, Kieran Tierney. These are players that tried to do something. And I'm really sorry for Saka to be in this awful club. Also, this institution doesn't deserve players such as Saka. We are unfortunate, we are rotten all over the place, and for his performance, he deserves a 6. Next up, we got Emil Smith-Rowe, another one, just like Bukayo Saka. Pressed high and nearly profited after Ederson's casual playing out from the back. Wasn't supported by any of his teammates though, looked a little confused by where exactly he was supposed to be playing. And this man is Arsenal through and through. He always says in his interviews, there's not going to be any club that I'm going to play for, it's going to only be Arsenal. And I think we should be grateful to have him, but Arsenal fans, Arsenal institution, we are awful as a whole. We are rotten all over the place, but for his performance, he deserves a 6. Next up, we got our talisman, Pierre, Emerick, Aubameyang. Have to feel sorry for the 23-year-old. Before the red card, he was isolated as the rest of his team stayed behind the ball. That got even worse after the red card. That stupid performance once again from Granit Xhaka. Unsurprisingly, hooked on the hour after failing to offer much hold-up play. And I think Aubameyang should just move to Juventus. We need a huge change. There's nothing. What happened in this summer transfer window? No overhaul, no changes, nothing. And we got rid of our better players in Torreira and Guendouzi and Mavropanos and William Saliba, and gets a 5 for his performance. Next up, we got Mohamed Elneny. We're moving to the substitutes now. Turned his back for Rodri's goal as he attempted to close down. The damage was done by the time the Egyptian came on, but there was a little he did to improve things much. And I don't know why he came on. He was seen as the better player to Lucas Torreira, which is unacceptable for his performance. Next up, we got Lacazette. Worked hard after coming on and offered more of a focal point than Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. A few nice interceptions, but could do nothing wrong with the game long gone by the time he was introduced. I feel sorry for him. He's not going to sign a new contract extension, that's one thing for sure. We need a change. If it's a manager change, that's what we're going to do. Everyone predicted that. I know this as an Arsenal fan, this is going to happen. And for his performance, he gets a 6. Finally, we've got Ainsley Maitland-Niles. The fact that he can't get in the team even when Arsenal play a back 5 shows where he is in the pecking order at Arsenal. Needs to leave before deadline day for the good of his career. And these are choices that Arteta makes, and for his performance he deserves a 5. Overall, the manager should change in my opinion. He's making awful decisions. Kolasinac at left centre back, awful. Decisions made are his. He's the one that's doing this. Yes, I know the bigger problem is Kroenke, but we have to get rid of Arteta. I don't know. If we have to get rid of players, we can't do it. And this is going all the way. You have to get rid of the top. And that's Kroenke. If you can get rid of him, everything else will come smoothly. But we won't do that because we're Arsenal fans. And overall, it's been a bad day for the Gunners.